What's up, YouTube? For today's video, it's not going to be a class setup. Well, technically it is, because I am going to include class setups. I'm going to be giving y'all some tips and tricks, and we're going to be focusing on settings, class setups, perks, going over some things you can add to your gameplay, and plus a secret tip. So first, let's get into the settings. Guys, you're not going to have a fun time if you don't deactivate or turn on some of these settings. So before you even step into the game, go over your what's it called, interface or graphics. Just take some time, go through those. Here's my stuff right here. Copy it down. It might even, none of this might even work for you. Like for me, the brightness, you might be on PC, you might have to dial it up, dial it down, because I know they have all the extra stuff. Interface, copy all this down. Color customization, that's really personal preference. I got all this, copy all this down if you really want it. Alright, but the settings I'm going to be focusing on is really the controller settings. You must have a sensitivity that you can actually play on. Because if you're playing at, let's say you're playing at a 9.9 sensitivity, you want to be able to turn fast but also stay accurate. But I'm gonna be honest. If you're shooting at an enemy, you're flicking off of him, and then you go back on him, or even underdo it. It just depends. You either might have to bump up or bump down. But you want to be able to turn. Like say you're aiming over here and they're over there. You want to be able to turn over to them. You know what I'm saying? But without overshooting. And now we're going to be going into inputs. Default, tactical. If you want to go into these weird ones, it's really all personal preference. But I would recommend tactical. I've heard people playing, I've seen people play bumper jumper tactical, bumper jumper. I mean, it's good, but I really wouldn't recommend it for this Call of Duty. It's basically, it's just a wasted trigger, to be honest. You know how little times you're going to be jumping in this game? It's absolutely insane. The only time you ever need to use your jump is when you're swimming in water and you're trying to resurface, or 1 or 2 jump shots out of a 7 to 10 minute game. I'm just being real here. You're not going to use it that much. Play on a button layout that's both comfortable and is not confusing. Second thing, I would flip these triggers. You don't have to. If you're more comfortable back here, keep it there. But I play on these simply because it's faster. If you look at my controller right here, imagine that versus back here. Imagine this right here. That's a quick click. But if you want to do a trigger finger back here, you have to find that median, that little center point. Go like this, because you can't just full trigger this. You can, but it's just waste of time, you know what I'm saying? See how you have to if you want to use the triggers back here, you gotta do this. Alright. Alright. And really that's it. Oh yeah. And for 80. Oh, which one is it? Yeah. Turn off automatic tactical sprint. It's absolute nightmare. I mean, you can keep it on. It just really depends on your play style. If you're a laid back kind of character and you're sprinting around, just don't use it. But if you are constantly in the action, get a quick sprint off and dive over. Say if you play the point and you need that quick sprint, you need that quick tack sprint to get away. Yeah, that's when I would use it. But if you're like, you play the point and like wander off and you have that attack sprint, the enemy is going to hear you. Those footsteps, this right here, that's what they're going to hear. Especially if you're going after that one camper, if you're going after like a camper and there's no action around that camper, all they're going to hear is your footstep. So it's almost better to go after like the bulk, go after the objective, go where the most concentration, like the concentration of the action. It's literally better, more beneficial for you to do that, because that camper is just going to hear your footsteps. They're gonna barricade, either barricade or claymore or toss a bouncing Betty. I don't know what it's called in this game. It's almost like it's just better for you to leave that guy alone. Let your teammates know, hey, yo, that dude camping right here. Because if your teammates don't go there, they work around that area. It forces that camper to move and maybe catch that, and maybe you'll be able to catch that camper off guard. Or you let your teammates know and say, hey, yo, anybody got a rocket launcher or a cruise missile? Send that, get that dude out of there. You know what I'm saying? All right. And really, that's really it. I mean, you can change the aim assist type, but I don't really change that. I'm comfortable just where I am. Aim response curve, I heard that dynamic is really good, but again, I do mess with this. I do notice a change in this, but I play on linear. It's just best for me. It just works for me. I felt with dynamic, it's just weird. That's it. But something that I do like is the left and right stick. That's the dead zones that you really want to mess with. Like for my left stick, you don't want that stick drift, especially in your left. Imagine holding down an angle, absolutely like in the perfect position for the enemy, and then that thing just goes whoop, exposes the left side of your body, boom, gun down. And for the right stick, you don't want to be off. All right. And for the tactical sprint, you want to keep that a toggle. And tactical sprint, yeah, you want that in single. And I don't know about these mantling things. I just turn it all off, I guess. Put partial. I don't know what any of this stuff is, to be honest. I just turned off the one that makes you mantle when you're near it. That's the one I turned off. Or like partial. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's the one. I think got so annoying during the early game. I would recommend that you invert slide and dive, because if you really think about it, you have to hold to slide, but like that's literally the same thing. You have to hold the slide, and in this game you have to complete the slide instead of slide cancel like there was in previous games. So it just makes sense. And really, that's it. All right, now let's hop into the class setups.